What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another breakdown of a trade that we took on a live stream. Now, I just want to say this real quick before we do the breakdown. If you guys are not joining us while we're live streaming, you're missing out. We took this trade on the last live stream live in front of everybody. It was a great time. We had a blast. All right. So if you want to join the live streams, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you're notified, or you can join the Discord so that you can be notified when I go live as well. Anyways, that's enough yapping for that. Let's go ahead and get into this breakdown. All right. So as you can see here, I have a clear chart. I wanted to show you guys what I was doing so that you can know my thought process and exactly what I was looking for when I was doing this breakdown. So we have to go all the way back to around 8 o'clock. All right, let's go to about 8 o'clock. Cool. So the first thing I looked at when I got to the chart was where we were in the markets. Now you guys can see we've been in a very strong bullish trend. So the first thing I identified was the market direction. When I saw that the market direction was bullish, I knew today we should be looking for buys and not sells. So what ended up happening is I started looking for points of interest as to where I can get in for a trade. At this point here, you can see that price has a very big fair value gap on the 1 hour. So I went down to the 15 minute to see if there are any other areas of interest that I can take. Now on the 15 minute, I can see that there was a couple up here as well. We had this one here that price was reacting to, and then we also had one below it like that. Okay. And the reason why, if you guys are part of my live streams, the reason why I always mark out all the gaps is because you really never know which one price is going to take. You have to wait for it to show you what you need to see before you take the trade. Now at this point here, you can see there's a lot of gaps here. So what I ended up doing is just going with this one to say, okay, if price doesn't, respect these two, this will be the last time before I start looking into this other one down here. So I basically went down to a lower time frame on the 1 minute, for example, and I just waited to see what was happening. Now, mind you, at this time when we had got to this chart specifically, we were actually looking at other pairs. So I think we got here around 9 o'clock. All right, so let's see, 9 o'clock, perfect. Yeah, so at 9 o'clock, price was heading towards this area. So this is the first gap. Price didn't respect that. It completely just ran through it. So we know, okay, price doesn't want to use this gap. All right, so I got rid of that. We got to this level here and I was waiting to see what happens. Look at this massive engulfing candle. Now, the question is, did I enter this trade? The answer is no. Why? This is not my setup. For those of you guys who trade or are learning to trade, always follow your strategy. Don't just get into things because you think it's going up. This is a very strong candle, which means it's reacting very well to the zone. So let's see what happens. So price continues to go up and down, and it starts to kind of break levels and go towards the high side. I still didn't enter because it's not my strategy. So eventually price went through, and at 9:30 we came into this zone here. Okay, so I can get rid of this. So we got into this zone right here. And what I started to notice is that this is a lot better setup. It's working for me because what I like to see for my setup is price giving us lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, right? Lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. And this is now a lower high. We're waiting for another lower low. So let's see what price did. Price ended up giving us a lower low. This is perfect. Now, usually when price gives us a lower low, I'm waiting for price to break this high so I can get into a trade. Okay, this is what I'm looking for at this zone. So price started doing this. When I saw this candle, I knew something was up. Don't ask me how I know. It's just one of those things where after you've been trading for so long, you can just tell by the way the market is moving. So I saw this candle and I said, you know what? If price starts breaking these levels here, like these candle heights here, I'm gonna get in for the trade. All right, so what happened was price ended up going down a little bit, didn't break this low right here. It did not break this specific low, okay? It kept on like respecting it. And then eventually we got this candle. This candle made me say, okay, I'm getting into the trade. Okay, I've seen what I need to see. Now, again, this is not something that if you follow my strategy to the T, you would be able to enter. But I have this from experience. I just know that this is going to go where it needs to go. So basically at this point, I decided to set my entry right here. Okay, stop loss right here. Aim for a 1 to 2, right? This is what I usually take, a 1 to 2. But I said to myself, based on how things are going, I looked at this area and I said, you know what? Price is most likely going to come into somewhere around here. So I went back to the 15. And when I went to the 15 minute, I could see that there was a gap right here. So I marked out this gap saying, okay, I'm going to hold this trade until we get to this level. When we get to this level, this is where I'm expecting price. Because remember, we're bullish. So price is supposed to do what? Come into here and continue upwards to break this high right here. So I decided this was where I was going to hold my trade to. Okay. All right. So let's see exactly how this played out. So I'm going to make two positions here. One is for a 1 to 2. The other one is to hold it to this point, which was almost a 1 to 4. Okay, we'll just make it a 1 to 4 just to be safe. Okay, all right, cool. So price basically went up, okay, and it looks like we're tapped into this trade here, but because of spread, we actually were not. Price did not tap us into this trade at that point. We waited, price came down, tapped us in here, and then it started to go down a little bit, and eventually we got a nice candle towards the upside, and that was it right there. So this candle right here almost took us to TP. We held a little longer, and in the next minute or so, we were officially out of the trade. At this point, I had asked the chat, should I close the trade at, you know, a 1 to 2, or should I hold it for a 1 to 4? And majority of people said, listen, we don't trust gold. We want to make back the money that my wife lost on the last live stream because we let her take a trade and she lost like 2% or so. So we want to make back some of that money. And in this trade, just from closing this position, we almost did. And so they said, close it here. And I did that. But if we still let the trade run, what ended up happening is that price went all the way up into our area and eventually hit TP. Okay, so if we had held, we would have hit our 1 to 4 as well. And that's it. It's really that simple, guys. Every time I do a breakdown, you'll notice it really comes down to about 3 things: the market structure, the trend, and then my point of interest. Once it gets my point of interest, does what I need it to do, I'm good. And that's that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. Again, if you guys want to see this done live, because I've started a forex trading series where I'm going to be trading live for 30 days in front of a live audience. If you're new and want to learn how to trade, it's a good opportunity for you to see. I'm not a professional or an expert or a guru. I'm just somebody who's still learning, but I'm sharing what I know. So if you'd like to join the live streams by hitting the subscribe button and hitting the notification bell so that you can be notified when I go live. Like this video, join the Discord, follow me on Instagram at mymoneyforeign, and I'll see you guys hopefully in the next live stream. Peace.